ahead.
All right, so high school.
Yes.
Narbonne, right?
Yes,
Okay.
yes.
And then Cal State Dominguez, we went
Correct.
over. Now me didn't get that high school experience, but for you, or that college experience, but for you, what kind of run us through that, right? Going to Dominguez, and then kind of, were you a guy in the beginning, or was it a slow, what was that like?
Well, the biggest thing, I mean, obviously for me, I was pretty talented at a young age. I was good, but I took a lot of things for granted.
Yeah.
One being school,
Yeah.
and I think that's something that really put me behind. But honestly, dude, like I was always pretty good. I was real talented. I thought I was gonna go in the draft at high school.
Yeah.
I did well. I had a lot of guys contact me, but obviously not doing good in school. Like, I mean, I graduated with like a 2.3, dude. I was that bad,
Yeah.
and it wasn't because I wasn't a good student. It's just I went to a city school where help wasn't there. I'm a first generation Mexican.
Yeah.
My parents knew one thing, and that's work your butt off and do, so it didn't really teach me the things to separate myself educationally. Right. So, obviously, they did a great job. I'm not saying they didn't, I'm just saying in general, they didn't have that kind of information. Right. So I didn't put myself in a good situation. A lot of it is on me, obviously.
Yeah.
So, I actually ended up going to junior college first at LA Harbor.
Yeah.
And was there, did good, but once I was done there, it was good. I learned a lot about being humble. I really thought I was going there for a year getting drafted. But realized real quick that there's people better than you, and if you don't,
even in that JUCO space, man, there's a lot.
There
of,
is.
lot
Dude.
of
People
players.
take that for granted. JUCO honestly has made me the player I am.
Yeah.
That's for sure. It made me very hungry.
Yeah.
LA Harbor is known, like they call it the Rats.
Yeah.
It's kind of like they call it Rats just because it's it's very cutthroat.
Yeah.
Like the Rats go and they'll survive any way possible. I don't know what it is. It's
ball players, dude.
Yeah,
That's the type of ball players you want.
Yeah. So obviously that really taught me a lot. It made me tougher. It made me grow. I give credit to the coaches there. Derek Nicholson, who was like a legend in his own right. He cut me one year, dude. Believe it or not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah. He cut me one year.
Some kids need to, they need to experience that.
Yes.
And see how they bounce back, right? Do they got that fight, or
Yes.
are they just gonna, it's his fault, like, I'm done,
No,
Some
100%.
kids need it, yeah.
No, and honestly, dude, to be honest, too, I needed it because, I still remember how talented you were. I mean, I think at a young age, we're just like, man, we just worked hard. We love the game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, a lot of people think that, naturally gifted players don't work.
Yes.
But it's the opposite, actually. Like,
Correct.
they're really gifted, but they're that much better than you because they also are working that much harder.
100%.
Than you. So it's just like, it's double.
No, you're right.
We're putting in the work. Yeah, we're gifted, but we just want it.
Yes.
We just want it more.
Yes.
And we get addicted to that success.
100%.
You know what I mean? And it's just a trickle effect. You just keep going and going. Because, I tell people all the time, like, yeah, I was gifted pretty much for as long as I can remember. But, my dad was always like, listen, if what are you willing to sacrifice? If you want to get to where you want to go.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, it's going to be everything.
Yes.
Like, you really just have to put your mind to something, and nothing else matters.
No, 100%.
So, it's, like I said, it's a tough road, and, just because you're talented doesn't mean that these guys are also not busting their butt.
Oh,
hard,
100%,
right?
bro. And that's one thing I learned too, is like a lot through the process is just to see guys where they're at.
Yeah.
And to see how hard they're working to live their dream was honestly something that motivated me to push myself harder because I'll be honest, I wasn't good in school, so you, as a baseball player, you got to find something to separate yourself with, whether that's, working your butt off or doing good in school or putting yourself in a situation where you have opportunities so where you can pick where you want to go, right?
Yeah.
So people take that for granted because they don't realize that those little things are something that can really get you somewhere where you want to be, so.
Well, I mean, school can also, it also teaches you time management.
Yes.
How to manage your time and priorities. And even if you're not I think most athletes, not all, but most are not, I love school.
Yes.
That's
true. That's true.
But, you got to do it, and it just teaches you discipline as well. I mean, there's a lot of other things that, that it teaches you.
Yes.
And if you want to go to that big time school, you need the grade. So if that's not motivation enough, if you're good enough to go, D1 in those top schools, and if getting good grades to get there is not motivation enough for you to have good grades, then you really don't want it, right?
100%. Like look at yourself, right? I mean, you were in a situation where you had good grades, correct, at high school.
So good grades, 3.5 and stuff, which is not unbelievable, but luckily my mom was a teacher,
correct?
So she was like, hey, just sit in the front of class, shut your mouth, right? Don't be a distraction. And do all your homework. And, because teachers already are not going to like you because, you're a star athlete or whatever, right? So just, do okay on tests, B's, C's, A's, occasionally. But if you just do your homework and there's no like real excuse, or they're going to give you the benefit of the doubt, so she taught me that at a young age. But when I was in high school, it was all business. I mean, as soon as high school started, it was like, all right, we're training, we have a goal. You got to get good grades.
Yes.
And that's like the path that you're taking. Everything else after that, if you have time for anything else, do it.
Yes.
But my dad was also like, hey, there's a lot of kids here that are not going to help you get to where you want to go. Mm-hmm. So, a lot of friends were just kind of cut off.
You're right.
Just, they may have been your friends for your whole life, but high school starts and hey, you're just gonna have to let them go if because they're not gonna help you.
No, 100%, dude. That's why this guy got some money. That's why.
Yeah. I mean, you need that support system, right?
Yes,
you need it.
You do.
And it's not to say that your parents did not give that to you. They obviously instilled that work ethic in you and stuff like that
for sure, 100%.
But your background, and it's like, hey, we got to work. And,
yes.
I mean, everyone's circumstance is different.
100%. 100%.
And just touching on that coaching side too, like when we're coaching, understanding where kids come from, what they're dealing with at the house and stuff like that is definitely huge. So
it definitely is, dude.
We'll touch on that coaching stuff, in a minute. But let's get back to, so you're at Harbor, right?
Yes.
Now, what was the process like getting into Dominguez?
So it was actually a crazy process. Obviously, I went to Harbor, and I'm over here thinking, oh, I'm getting drafted first year. I'm
out of Harbor, right?
Yeah. Okay. Like I was already getting opportunities in college, but what I didn't realize is everybody at a junior college wants it as well.
They want it more.
Yeah, because it's a grind.
Yeah.
It's a grind. So, again, I didn't do what I had to do in school. Yeah. I did get cut one year, but obviously they would let me come back, and that changed my life.
Yeah.
So going into Dominguez, obviously, it was a good opportunity for me. I got offered a lot of Division I offers, but I just didn't have the grades to transfer over. Yeah. So I was very blessed to meet Murphy Sua, who was a great man, taught me a lot, really cared about his guys, and he found a way to get me into Dominguez, which was still hard for me because my transcripts weren't good. So getting into Dominguez, it was awesome. I got there and I was able to transfer in, and I had a really good couple years, and I actually got picked up both years, but didn't take it the first year, went the second year, and obviously got drafted by the Twins. So the process was hard, and I will say it was something that really made me realize, that it could be taken away from you pretty fast if you don't do the right thing. So it was cool. So
no, that's awesome. That's awesome. So we're in the system. You were with the Twins, me with the Red Sox, so we're very close, to each other,
yes,
right?
Yes,
in Fort Myers and out there. So what was that like? That first day. First day you're with the Twins. Spring training. Extended spring, whatever it may be. Let's kind of walk through that minor league life a little bit.
You know what, dude? I will say this. I'll say, when I got drafted, first and foremost, dude. Sorry about that, guy. So, but going into the minor leagues, I will say, obviously I was in a high draft pick. I got drafted late. I got drafted in the 32nd round, and for me, it was more of just getting the opportunity.
Yeah, I think for guys that have been in the minors, obviously the higher picks are going to get more opportunities, but. First at 32, everyone's good.
Yes.
Everyone's good. It doesn't matter. Just getting there is
tough,
an accomplishment in of itself.
Correct.
So go ahead.
No, so it was definitely an accomplishment for myself, knowing that I did take a hard route. The day I did get drafted, bro, I cried for like a week. I was like, I'm very big on my faith, so like I was just like, man, God, like I guess he gave me a hard battle. So when I got there, dude, to be honest with you, the first day of spring training, I just felt like, this is crazy, right? Like, I felt I felt weird, you know. It was weird because I was always the guy in every team. You know, I was an all-state guy. I was like a Gold Glove guy. It was like you knew you were the guy going there. You were just another guy, right?
Yeah,
So now it's like a mentality thing. It's a separation thing, and you get there. And to be honest with you, I did feel sometimes that I didn't belong. You know what I mean? My confidence was a little gone.
No, I think everyone kind of goes through that a little bit.
Yeah.
Even myself, like, you know, even if you're a supplemental first rounder, you get there and you're not better than anybody really anymore. Like, you know, maybe in little areas,
correct.
You know, but overall, you're like, man, everyone. There's like 16-year-olds throwing 94 here, and everyone's good, you know. And you got to figure out how you can separate yourself.
Correct.
Once you get there, is the biggest thing. Soak it all in, and then the pressure, right?
Yes.
I mean, you got people don't know, like, dude, you got infield coordinators, outfield coordinators, base running coordinators. You know, the whole scouting director, the catching guy. I mean, there's 10 different guys, right? Like, eyes on you, and they're not just watching like. You have to feel the ground ball this way, and they're watching everything. You know, you know, they know like, hey, I saw you got to the field at 7:05 today, not 6:30. Like, what's going on? You know, and you're like, dang, like really? You know, it's and you got to perform because at that point, like I try to tell kids now, you know, especially parents too. It's like, dude, you got to enjoy it now.
Yes,
just trust me. If you do get to where you want to go, it's a job. And it's stressful, and if you don't perform. Your dream's over.
Yes.
Like, it's not like, you know, hey, like, get another opportunity, or you may not ever get picked up again.
Correct.
Like, if you do not perform, your dream could be gone like that, you know? It's a lot of stress. And for some guys, you know, they can't handle it. You know, you see a lot of guys that just quit.
No, you're right.
Because it's not fun anymore. So when I see like young kids just not having fun, I'm like, God, if you guys only knew like, what your child was in for, you know, later on in life. I mean, I know you want him to be great. I want this kid to be great. But these memories, like, you know, I'm sure same for you. Like, when you're done playing, you miss the camaraderie. You miss the boys. You miss the locker rooms. You're not like, oh, I miss, you know, making this play or that play. It's like, you miss the game. But it's, you know, now with what we're doing, it's like you don't have that anymore.
No, you're right.
You're not one of the boys anymore. You know?
No, you're right.
You're not. And as much as you want to still call yourself a professional athlete, you're not.
That's so funny,
those
bro.
days are over, man.
No, that's so funny. No, you're right, dude. You're 100% right about that. And you know, it's funny because, you know, being in the minor leagues and seeing it all, and you're right. Like, some of these parents, they just don't realize like what they're up against. Some of these kids don't even realize it. You know, you deal with some of these kids, they think that it's gonna be so easy. It's like, no, man, it's definitely a situation, especially for you. Obviously, you know, it got to the point for me when you're in the minor leagues where you feel like, man, this thing is just not fun anymore.
It's
you
not
know,
what you thought, right?
Yeah. It's not what you thought, and you know, you enjoy the game, but you start seeing these first rounders get every opportunity and they're failing, or you see these other guys that, you know, they got a little more money invested in them that are getting more opportunities, and then you got coaches paying attention more to these guys. But you know, at the end of the day, I think it's more of the experience. You know, I think I had fun with the experience of being in the minor leagues and really learning. You know, when I was there, you know, a coach told me one time, you know what, Carlos, be realistic with you. You know, the chances of you making it are like it's pretty hard, you know. And I was like, so I went in there with an open mind, knowing like, you know what, then I'm just gonna learn. You know, I'm gonna learn what's good, what's bad. You know, I always knew I loved the game, and I never knew I'd be, you know, giving back as much as I am now. But you know, I knew I was gonna be around the game no matter what, whether that's coaching high school, college, or you know, doing stuff like that. So,
and you know, what's crazy is, you know, to maybe guys like us, you know, if our career didn't end up being exactly what we wanted, it's still 99% better than what most kids are going to get the opportunity to do.
Yeah, bro.
You know? Bro. You know, which is humbling for sure. You know, super grateful once you step away from it.
Yeah, dude.
You know, just the big leaguers you're able to be around, and the people that you learn from.
Yes.
And, you know, it's just invaluable.
Oh, no, 100%, bro.
You know, it's pretty cool, especially doing the job that we're doing, and, you know, just being able to pass that information on.
Yes.
You know, whether people want to take it or not, that's on them. But you know, the credibility, you know, that we have, that we can bring on to families and kids is no, it's pretty cool. It's pretty cool. But I know, you know, even you know, like most people think, okay, you get drafted and oh, you're a millionaire now, right? Like,
man,
what are you making every month?
They have no idea, man.
They have no idea you're eating peanut butter and jelly sandwiches every day, 3 times a day. Dude. Yeah, and you know, you got, you know, clubhouse dudes.
Oh,
yes. You know, all this stuff you got to pay for, and you know, luckily, obviously, I was you know, I was able to receive a decent amount of money, but those guys that did not, I mean, they're, you know, you're not making much money, right? I mean, I think back then it's like $1,100 like to start, right? And you got to pay, you know, you got to make a living, you know, and you got to pay bills, you got to pay for your apartment or wherever you're staying. And a lot of times, like we used to say, you're paying to play at the lower levels. You're paying to play. You're not making any money. And for a guy that doesn't get drafted very high, like he's got to work in the off season. So how are you a professional athlete? And you can't even afford to live a roof over your head. You got to work and train. Like it's hard.
You're right.
And it's a grind. And you know, they underpay, you know, minor leaguers a lot. I think a little bit more now, right? They changed that.
Yeah.
But even till this day, I tell people, I'm like, man, I would, if someone said, "Hey, I'll give you $100 a month for another opportunity," I'm like, "Yeah, I would do it.
Yeah,
I'm doing it."
No, yeah,
you know,
100%.
Do they deserve to get paid more? Yes, but I guess for someone that it's their dream, like I would. If someone said, "Hey, we're gonna turn the clock back 15 years, it's $100 a month," I'm like,
"Let's go,
Mom.
Let's run it back.
Need you. I need you, Mom. Like, help me.
Yeah, you know? No, 100%.
You know? So it's just like, you know, it's not as glamorous as you think at the as more so at the lower levels. Obviously, the longer you're in the system, the more, you know, you have an opportunity to make some money. But
100%.
You know, those first couple years are definitely a grind.
Oh,
you know,
they are
6 to 13-hour bus rides. Wherever you're playing, and you know you're not sitting alone, so you're gonna be next to somebody. More than likely, there's gonna be, you know, a big group that just wants to play music all night,
of course,
all night, and it's tough, man. You're eating at McDonald's at gas stations most nights, and you know, it's a grind. And even too, which was crazy for me is. And I'm like, okay, these fields are going to be great, and a lot of these low A short season fields are. I mean, we play in better fields now. Like 10-year-olds are playing better fields now than some of these. You're in a town you've never heard of.
100%.
You know, towns where if you wanted to go into hiding and never be found again, that's where you're playing baseball.
No,
these, you know, it's just bad, but. It's a grind, you know. So I think a lot of these kids too, they need to say, okay, like this is what you're preparing for. You know, it's not going to be glamorous in the beginning.
No, it's not.
You know, especially if you're coming from a big time D1 college or JUCO, like nice facilities.
Yeah,
like, it's not going to be like that.
No, you're right. It's not. It's 100% not. I mean, dude, I'll tell you one thing. Having these long bus rides, I would question it every day. Like, God, man,
what am I doing? Yeah.
What am I doing here? And you're making nothing. Dude, when I first got picked up, I'm not gonna lie, like I'm not afraid to say it. Like I would call my dad and be like, "Hey, Dad, I need $300." You know what I mean? And I was like, "Dude, I need $300." Like, and he's like, "Dude, you're a professional athlete." I was like, "Well, you know what, Dad?
Yeah.
thanks for the encouragement." You know, but it was funny because it is such a grind, dude. People don't understand. Like these guys that are in the minor leagues, we're really trying to make it.
Yeah.
This is our dream, and you know, baseball is one of those things where. You're not taught to like, you know, cut corners. You're taught to do things the right way. I mean, baseball's a lot like life, right? Yeah. So, I mean, for us, it was mostly like, man, like what can we do to make a little extra money and to do little stuff. I remember even cutting lawns, bro, like to make some money because it was like, I'll tell the guys, "Hey, dude, come cut my lawn in the mornings and I'll give you guys some extra money," or they'll have little things and I'll go do it because I didn't want to have to be suffering for food. You know, I mean, I believe it or not, I like eating good, you know, as you can tell once we're done.
The weight piles
on fast, man. But I mean, it definitely is a difficult situation, and to be honest with you, that's why mentally I feel like now I've become a great man because all the stuff we've gone through, dude. I mean, people don't realize, you're a first rounder, bro, but you went through everything everybody else went through too. Like,
I mean,
and at a young age. I mean, how old are you? Like 19, 20 years old doing that? Like, being away from parents, homesick. I mean, it's not easy, dude. You know, so I think people lose sight of kind of all those things, you know, and being in it and seeing it. Now we're able to kind of give the blueprint to these players. I always tell these players, I'm like, look, if I were to be like, "Hey, dude, these are the answers.
Yeah.
If you look at it, you'll get an A. And if you copy every answer, you're going to do it, right? The crazy part is you tell these kids this, and they'll still you give them the answers, and they still get some parts of the test wrong because some of them don't understand, like, dude, like, we're here to guide you, right? Yeah. So it's a lot of stuff. But no, man, the minor league life is definitely hard. It's definitely difficult, and it's definitely one of those things where it's a hard living, bro. It's a hard living for sure.
No, I even though, a lot of guys, right? I mean, first rounders, 32nd, whatever, it doesn't matter. But you all go through the same adversity, especially for me there was probably never really a time where, I wasn't the best player, on my team at some point.
100%.
Right? And then you start struggling in the minor leagues for the first time, and you're just like, I have no idea what this is. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like, I've never not hit, and you don't know what to do. You're like, this is new to me. I've never experienced this type of failure before. And, it's tough, know. So I think, you and what the part that sucks is, like, that you're like, dude, I'm better than this guy.
Yes.
Like I'm better than him. But why is this guy performing better than me? Like, you cannot figure out. And mentally, that's tough to handle. Like, I have faster hands. I'm stronger. I'm everything. But, this guy's raking and I'm not hitting. Like, what is it? And then you just get in this emotional, mental, just roller coaster, and it just plummets and plummets. And the thing about pro ball, I tell people, is there's no breaks, dude.
No.
It's every day.
Every day.
Every day. So if you don't get to go 0 for 4 and then take 2 days to work on your swing.
Yes.
Like, no, you're 0 for 4, then you're 0 for 4. Next thing you know, you're 0 for 32. And it's been like 5-6 days. You're like, oh my gosh.
You don't even get a chance to
I don't even want to play baseball right now. Like, I just, like, somebody just get, like, the sprinklers turn on something. Like, I need a day. Like, I just mentally, I cannot handle this. Like, this sucks. This is horrible. And being a first rounder too, it's like, I remember I had my first coach was ex-Angel shortstop Gary DiSarcina, right?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
He was my first coach, and he's like, Ryan, I don't care if you go 0 for 4 strikeouts, you're hitting leadoff the next day. Mm-hmm. And as a young kid, like, I should have took that as, okay, like, they believe in me,
Correct.
Whatever. But in my head, I'm like, that's the worst thing you could have said to me, coach, because there's no way I can keep going at this rate. Like, I just do not know how to get out of this. So if you're 0 for 8, you're like, I'm going to get 4 more at-bats tomorrow. Like, what am I going to do? And then you're like, okay, now I'm 1 for 15 or I'm 2 for 20. I'm like, this is rough. Like, I like, there's no days off. It's
yes.
And that was hard. That was really hard. And, for me, I always tell people, I said, my career didn't end up being what I wanted, not because I wasn't good enough. I mean, there's a lot of, big leaguers in today's game that, I probably had more talent, more raw talent than, in my younger days. And even coaches would say it, but it's like, hey, we can't figure out how to get it out of you. Mm-hmm. And you think it's physical, but it's not.
Correct.
Mentally, you just couldn't handle it.
Correct.
And that's why I think it's important for kids now. Like, you have to go through some adversity.
Yes.
If you don't, it's really not going to benefit you.
100%. 100%.
In the long run, you got to be mentally tough. You can't be too sheltered. You got to experience some, life.
Correct.
You got to go through hardships, whatever it may be. So for me, I didn't start having success later in my career, but by then it was too late. You're already, 27, 28.
Yeah.
Back then, I mean, you're ancient, especially now. I mean, kids are in the big leagues at 19, 18 years old, So by then it was a little bit too late, but kind of maybe your experience at Harbor, I had gotten released by the Cubs, and then I went to independent ball for 3 years.
Yes.
Best 3 years of my life.
Yeah.
I mean, and it's funny because I feel like most minor leaguers, especially if they get drafted higher, they're like, I'm never playing independent ball. Never. I will never be caught dead playing
100%.
Independent ball. But what's crazy is you get there, and I'm like, these guys are good.
Yeah.
Like, you think it's just like backyard baseball, but if you go to a good, independent league, like, these guys are good, and it's a lot of ex-major leaguers.
Yes.
That I mean, when I was at independent ball, I faced like Eric Gagne, K-Rod,
Yes.
like, they're older, but they're savvy vets.
Yes.
Like, they're still good. And you play against a lot of, big leaguers throughout the minors, right? A lot of guys,
Yes.
I got the opportunity to, to play with, Brandon Crawford, Mike Trout, Bryce Harper, all those guys. And those guys are,
100%.
way just better than everybody. Like, it's just drastic, you know,
Yes.
which is cool. But in independent ball, yeah, there's no rules. There's no, you don't have to, I mean, you can show up whatever you want.
Yeah,
you don't got to take BP. There's nobody telling you what to do. We had guys like rolling into the dugout, like eating Pop-Tarts.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah,
it's just
yeah,
bad, you know? So at first you're like, what, you know, because I went from the Cubs and it's like, you know, catered kale salad and like, you know, healthy, like just state of the art food, you know. And then you go to independent ball, it's like, yeah, you get a couple hot dogs or something from the stand, some chicken fingers or whatever. Like, you're like, what is going on, you know? But you just you get back to the roots of like, I'm just playing ball to play. I love to play ball.
Yes.
Nobody's telling me what to do. You know, your career's in your own hands again. You just start having fun.
Yeah.
And in independent ball, I mean, I had the best 3 years I've ever had. I tell people this all the time. Like, I was in the worst shape of my life. Didn't work out. Didn't do anything. But I just love baseball.
Yes.
Like, my work was still good baseball wise, but like all the other stuff that I thought, which in general, yes, it will help you, right? If you're stronger, faster, whatever. But mentally, my mind was not in the right place.
Correct.
But in independent ball, my mind was just like, dude, I love this game. I'm gonna go out here and just have a great time. And whether I go 0 for 4 or 4 for 4, I'm gonna go out tonight and I'm gonna have a great time.
Yes.
Which in pro ball, if I had a bad game, you couldn't talk to me.
Yes.
I mean, there's times I walk home because I was
Yes.
so mad, like just crazy stuff.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
like,
yeah.
dude, you're an idiot. What are you doing?
Yes.
But in independent ball, I'm like, dude, I'm with the boys. I'm having a good time.
Yeah.
And you just notice your play is just better.
Yes,
Right.
100%.
Which is crazy how that works, man.
No, you're 100% right. I mean, you know, it's crazy because, you know, as you get older, you start realizing things like that, right?
Yeah.
You know, you're so hard on yourself. And I think when you're in the like minor league system and affiliate, you know, I think it's more of like, you have a chance, you have a chance to make it to the big leagues. You're close,
Yeah.
you know, and I think you put more pressure on yourself because you know that if you don't put the numbers or you don't do what you have to do, you're done, bro.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
it is tough. It is one of those things where it's heartbreaking. But when I was able to play independent ball, you know, and independent ball is more loose, man. It's more kickback, and you're right. I was like, I don't want to play indie ball and stuff like that, but. You know, it was actually something that it taught me and it introduced me to cool people.
Yeah.
You know, I played in the Frontier League, which
Yeah.
was cool. It was awesome.
No,
A lot different, a lot younger ages, you know, but it was.
I actually started in the Can-Am League.
Oh, okay.
That was right. Yeah,
The Can-Am was good,
It was
yeah.
Can-Am, and then from there, then I went to the Atlantic League. But yeah, it was like Can-Am was like Wild Wild West out there.
I bet,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
I heard the
But
Can-Am was fun. I heard the Can-Am was fun.
Canada, shout out to Canada. Yeah,
Yeah, dude. Look at this guy. Yeah, dude. I can only imagine how it is over there, bro.
Yeah.
No, that's cool. And then I had I was able to go do the funnest part, and you know the difference is when I went to go play in Mexico. Like when I went to go play in Mexico, you know, I played out there
Yeah.
in the big leagues, and I will tell you right now, playing there, dude.
Great baseball.
Oh, great baseball. You're with a
atmosphere,
bunch
yeah.
of big, dude. I was playing with Miguel Tejada.
Yeah.
I was playing with ex big league guys
Yeah.
too that were like so freaking like honestly, dude. They were so chill.
Yeah.
You would think they wouldn't be,
Yeah.
you know, but they were. You know, like I mean, and you have guys out there that are just as good. Like you said, there's so much talent out there. Sometimes I wonder if the best talent is in the big leagues. You know?
I think, you know, me and my buddies talk about this a lot of time. There's a lot of guys that are. I mean, I've seen guys get called up to the big leagues, and I think it comes down to like dependability, right? Consistency.
Correct.
This guy is not the most talented guy
Yes.
out here. Maybe this guy cannot handle the pressure, but you put him in maybe a different atmosphere, and this guy's probably the best player you've ever seen.
Yes.
And he didn't make it to the big leagues where this guy did, but this guy's just steady Eddie. You know, this is what the big league club wants: a good at
Correct.
bat, routine play. You know, not a speedster, not a cannon, but this
Correct.
guy's just, you know, I can put him on the bench, put him in every fourth, fifth day. He's gonna get the job done. He's not gonna embarrass me, right? Give guys a breather. Or this other guy who's just stupid, uber talented, just, you know, should be in the big leagues, should be an all-star in the big leagues, but just never makes it for whatever reason, right? I mean, could be mental, could be whatever, but you get this guy in a different atmosphere all of a sudden, you know, and you're like, how?
Yes.
How does this guy not make it to the big leagues? Like,
100%.
I mean, and like you said, there's some guys, you know, in Mexico or wherever. I got a lot of buddies that played in Mexico, and these guys are tearing it up. Like,
Yes.
just studs, you know.
Yes.
But maybe they just sometimes I think maybe some guys just don't get seen.
No, you're right.
I don't know. Like maybe they just get overlooked, or I don't know what it is. But I mean, yeah, there's tons of talent out there. Just tons, man.
No, there is,
everywhere
man.
Everywhere you go.
Well, it's awesome to see all the talent and the growth of the game and where it's going, dude. It definitely is something. Well, I really think we'll have somebody throwing 110 miles per hour soon. Like, I just feel like the game's progressing so well. So it's cool to see.
Yeah. No, I know. And touching into that, it's like guys are so good now.
Yes.
And obviously, you with your program with ZT Prospects, right? Head director there, right?
Yes.
And we see a lot of players that are really good at 9, 10 years old.
Correct.
And when I was coming up, at least there was not this. There was not the type of training. Like we were not this good.
Yes,
we were not this good because we weren't even preached to play travel ball.
No, you're right.
We were doing basketball. We were
100%
skateboarding, whatever. Right? We're just kids. Yeah. And now it's like I got this 9-year-old. I'm like, dude, he's got, for whatever reason, he's got strength and conditioning class, and then he's got infield coach, hitting coach, strength and conditioning. He's got this. I'm like, God, this guy's training 5-6 days a week.
Correct.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, obviously that's why he's good. But sometimes I'm like, well, is he going to be a kid? I just want to make sure this guy's, this is not a job yet. I just want to make sure that he doesn't get burnt out.
Yes.
And,
yes.
I still think it's great to train. Like I preach training, but, I also don't put so much pressure on them to be the greatest right now.
No, 100%.
Because we know that
be, yeah.
we know that it takes time, and some kids are right. Some kids are naturally gifted and stronger, and they're going to perform at a high level. That's fine. Yes. But there's also guys that they may stink until they're 12, 13.
Correct.
And they get drafted in the second round. First round. I mean, you just don't know.
You don't know,
which is I think the beautiful thing about it. And I just try to tell people like, hey, just it's okay. Like I know you maybe want your kid to be the best right now, and he may not be. No matter how hard he works, he may not be until it clicks for him later down the road.
Yes.
And there are going to be kids that are just dominant. I mean, your program, you guys are doing great things over there, have a ton of talented, great players. But just like a lot of those kids may never even go to college and play.
You're right.
You just do not know.
You don't.
So
you don't.
I think it's good to just encourage these kids. Like hey, like more so high school and below, right? But enjoy it, because the real work starts once you get into 9th grade.
Oh,
right?
100%.
The real work starts then. So before then, we're just trying to prepare you. We're just trying to prepare you for that moment, and don't panic. Hopefully, we can guide you in the right direction and get you to ultimately where you want to be. You may be an all-star, a stud, which is fantastic. Like I'm very happy for you. Like that's how I was. There's nothing wrong with that.
Yes.
But at least my dad was always like, hey, it's great, but like this is not the
end all be all. Yeah, the end all be all. Correct.
I still did all the extracurricular activities and played all the sports. I couldn't imagine, even if it was just funny because this is what I do for a living now, but I couldn't imagine playing baseball 11 months out of the year, every weekend playing, training 4 to 5 times a week. Like I look back, I'm like, dang. Because I played basketball, football,
Correct.
all that stuff. But I do know times have changed, and of course, kids are better.
Yes.
So I think mentally, I'm learning that. And like, hey, if you want to keep up, this is kind of what you have to do now. Times have definitely changed.
Yes.
So my mindset, has gone a little bit back and forth
Correct.
on that, just
Correct.
because the training, what's available. You kind of have to, if this is something that you want to pursue. I feel like. So I kind of go back and forth on that a little bit. I mean, they're just, I'm in awe all the time.
Oh, man.
This guy's 10. He's got an elite swing already.
Yeah.
I mean, he can't hit the ball that far, but I mean, these
once
guys
he develops,
especially us being infielders, you're like, how does this 10-year-old have the hand? Like, what is this guy looks like?
It's crazy.
A mini, like Omar Vizquel, and he's 10 years old.
Yeah.
I mean, he can still barely get to first base. But like he's no, 100%. This guy's footwork, bro. Like this guy's a stud. So, but yeah, going to ZT, you guys, you started with Top Notch.
Top Notch, correct?
Top Notch, okay.
Yeah.
and then got into with ZT, and things have grown drastically. Was fantastic. And then so kind of walk us through. I know you guys just opened up the facility, right?
Correct.
Facility,
Correct. That is correct.
Kind of walk us through the facility and a little bit about, I think, the homeschool situation.
Correct.
There. Yeah.
Correct.
Kind of walk us through that a little bit.
So I we started as Top Notch. Obviously we've made a change here the last 2 years into going to ZT, which we found some great guys who have backed us and who really wanted to get in the realm of helping the next generation, right? So, like you said, I think that for us, obviously being opening up this facility here in Anaheim has been a super blessing, dude. We actually ended up starting a school, as how I took it is like the Dominican Republic, right? Yeah, when you get in the minor leagues, the one thing I see is the Dominicans, man, they're advanced, Yeah,
they're ahead.
Yeah, sure. And for me, it was like, what can we do to try to get these guys to live their dream? Okay. Yeah. And for me, it was like, okay, school's important. Yeah. So let's make sure education is where it needs to be, right? Let's make sure that we're guiding them in the right situation. Let's make sure that we get teachers, tutors, whatever it takes to make sure that they understand stuff. Because, for me, it was hard for me to learn a certain way. So I'm a big believer in everybody leads different so that everybody learns differently. So you can't treat everybody the same. Yeah. There's a kid that you can scream at and stuff that will respond. There's another kid that is quiet and that you maybe have to talk to him alone. I mean, everybody's different. So for me, it was mostly just making sure that, when we did start this academy, we put ourselves in a situation to make the kids successful, and we've been very fortunate to partner up with schools. We actually have a school
so how does that work? Do the kids go to a school, or does the teacher come to the facility?
So we for 7th and 8th we teamed up with Santiago Charter School, which is a middle school where they actually go to school. They have actual teachers at the school. So they go to a school. They go to school from 8 a.m. to about 12:15. Okay. So it's kind of like a block schedule. So they have 3 periods every day, different. So they get out there. We get them a bus, the school bus. Okay. The school bus picks them up, drops them at
the facility.
They pick them up from Santiago Middle School.
Okay, but how are they getting to Santiago Middle School? So
the parents are driving them there. So the parents are driving them there.
So they're not going to the ZT Academy until after school.
Till after school.
That's cool. Okay.
So they're getting there around 12:15. We start training about 1. Got it. From 1 to 3:30, they're just training. Whether that's strength and agility, or whether that's speed training, fundamental stuff, infield stuff, and those are that's the stuff that I love to do. Because we've been very fortunate as ZT to be successful, to win. But what people get lost, dude, is that our job was never to go win a national title. Let's be real. At 11, 12 years old, is that the biggest thing? Not really. You know what I mean? Nobody's really going to be, oh, you're a national. Like, for me, it was mostly putting them with the best, working against the best. Like we talked earlier, having the adversity, and being able to get put in a situation where you're getting challenged. Because, see, when I was in the minor leagues, I wasn't comfortable being uncomfortable. You get what I'm saying? Yeah. So I always felt that it was important to make these guys feel uncomfortable and challenge them to learn how to get comfortable being in that situation. So now it's now putting them in a situation where they're actually working hard. I think at 13, 14, we just talked about it, high school's so important. I call those 4 years business years. Because those 4 years you invest into making sure those 4 years you get a scholarship. You know what I'm saying? So I want to make sure at 13, 14 that we're in the weight room, we're training, you're with a guy that's really going to help your body, good eating habits, stuff like that. Because for our academy, we want to make sure that they're prepared for what high school has to offer. So taking the right courses, making sure they manage their time, because let's be honest, like, you're going to have to manage your time, So the academy's awesome. Honestly, man, I'm so fortunate, so blessed to come such a long way and be where we're at today, and now I just really want to make sure that, we surround these kids with the best trainers to be able to get to where they want to be, so.
No, that's super cool, man. That's awesome. I know, I know a couple other programs that kind of got into that a little bit and stuff like that. But it's, like I said, times are changing.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
There's new ways to do things.
Correct.
at first, we may have our opinion about
Yes.
what it is and stuff like that. But I guess, if you think about it, I think of it, like European soccer. I mean, those kids are going to academies at a
Yes.
young age.
Yes.
They're going to school, but they're training,
100%.
training. So, for you to provide that, and like I said, we'll see where it goes. You know what I
Yes.
mean? We'll, I guess, as where we are in the States as far as with what we're doing, how we're running things, we'll kind of see how it ends up. If it becomes more popular and kids that want to specialize in sports at a young age, which if they do start doing, I mean, they're going to even get better.
No, they're going to get better.
they're gonna
But
get
the one
better.
thing I will touch base on, and the one thing that parents should understand is this doesn't guarantee you're going to get a scholarship.
No.
This doesn't guarantee anything like that.
It's just giving you the best opportunity.
It's giving you the best opportunity, And the biggest thing is, I honestly think that athletes that are very, very talented, this is what they're going to go into. And the reason why is because the school system is so messed up. Like there's so much stuff going on, and the political stuff of it.
but so when talking about this, Santiago, right, charter school. Now the curriculum and like are all the ZT kids in the same class? Like it's just ZT kids, or they're with other kids as well?
No. So the school is a regular school.
Got it.
You're going with kids. So I'm very big on making sure that the kids are with like girls, and I want them to experience that too.
So it's not just like they're only with each other all day, every day.
No.
Oh, okay.
So they're all in different classes. That's why it's so cool. You know what I mean? Obviously, we do have another side of it where it's kind of just like the homeschool based, where you have a teacher online, Zoom, and that takes place. That takes place at the facility, which is more for 5th, 6th graders. There's some parents that are 7th and 8th that do like to do that. And it's a good course, right? And obviously we get teachers to help them, support teachers, stuff like that. But Santiago is awesome, dude. It's awesome.
Now, for the kids that do the Zoom in the classroom, is there like a tutor or a helper on staff?
Yes.
In the
class. Yeah. So like everybody has a different schedule. So when you have something like that, what you do is, let's just say somebody starts at 10, right? Yeah. The teacher has a schedule of where everybody starts their class, and she makes sure they're online, make sure that they're on top of it. Yeah. We have, I know you haven't been in the facility, but I would love for you to come and check it out one day.
Sure. Yeah,
and we have a lot of stuff for kids. We have a game room. We have a good little eating area where they can enjoy themselves. At the end of the day, you want kids, like you said, we want kids to have fun, dude. Yeah. A lot of it's environment. Me, I'm a kid at heart. I mean, we
play a game.
We played a kids game. I like to mess around, have
fun.
Never
had a 9-to-5 in my life.
I have not. I've been very blessed on that. But I think that it's very important for kids to be kids. I have a passion. I see myself as a big brother, right? Yeah. And you want these kids to be successful. You want them to be put in a situation to where they're happy, bro. I mean, baseball to us has been our love, but at the end of the day, it might not be theirs. And it's okay because...
Yeah, that's a good point. I do tell kids all the time, this could be what you're doing right now, but it doesn't. It's okay if it's not your passion or your life dream. Yes. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's not.
Enjoy it while you can. Like, not everyone wants to be a major leaguer. And, and some kids just, I want to be really good at baseball now, but then, I want to be an artist or I want to do whatever. There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
There's nothing at all. I think it's great.
No, it is, dude. I'm telling you, dude. I mean, I think the biggest thing, too, we're coaches, but we're also leaders in a sense of we're creating kids to be good young men, good young women. I mean, we're really in a situation of strength and power. I mean, honestly, that's what I don't take for granted, right? I mean, I'm sure you don't either.
No, no. I mean, definitely not. Definitely not. So. Like I said, though, it's you guys are doing great things over there, and
you are too, dude.
I know, I appreciate it. I know, this travel ball world is crazy.
Yes, it is.
You meet a lot of people, you come across a lot of, the amount of teams that are just out here is crazy.
It is crazy. It is crazy.
But we try to do the best we can, and I think every team, at least my 2 cents is every team should, our program, whatever you want to call yourself, should at least be honest with what, I know we talked a little bit before the show, at least be honest with what you're trying to do here.
Yes.
Yes. I tell, especially kids for our program and parents, hey, this is what we're about. And I'm sure when it comes to teams breaking up and stuff like that, it's everyone needs to buy in to what we're doing, you know, and, you know, obviously your program is known for, you know, being very dominant. You guys win a lot, which is fantastic. And I tell people all the time, you know, maybe when I first got into the game, you know, you're trying to figure it out, try to navigate the scene.
Yes.
What are programs like, you know, how can RD2, you know, find their way? What are we trying to do? You know, and, you know, for you guys, it's like, yeah, like you're, at least for, you know, what I think we talked about a little bit, like, yeah, you want to put good players with good players.
Yes.
You want to compete. You know, you have that background. You know, you guys do very well, but there's also, you know, you're also covering two areas, right? Of you have the guys there that are going to develop, right? And obviously, like you said, the more you grow, the tougher it is to find quality coaches that are going to have the players' best interests at heart.
100%,
you know?
dude.
You know, so I know for you guys, you know, you guys have done a good job at that, and no one's ever going to be perfect all the time.
No,
you know what I mean? You just try to stay true to what you're about.
Yes.
And, you know, I tell parents and kids, it's like, listen, I don't care if you just want to win. Like if you just want to win and you want to do your own training, nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
You know, but maybe this is not the place for you.
Correct.
Which is okay. You know, and for us, for RD2, we really try to build more of a culture and atmosphere. I know a lot of our teams, you know, we practice together, but that's just because, you know, I like to work with all the kids. You know, I want to make sure I'm the one that's touching base with all the kids, and the parents want that too. Whereas for you, like, yeah, it's a different model, right? You know, Carlos is doing the school. I mean, this guy's got a lot of stuff going on, man. You can't be everywhere, you know. But you have to trust guys to do what you're doing, and everyone gets a reputation, right, of what they're about. You know, so you know, you just try to figure out, hey, as a program, what are we trying to do? What are we trying to promote? And hopefully parents and kids can buy into what because each program is different. I don't necessarily think it's wrong.
No,
I leave it up to the parent. Like whatever you think is right for your kid, go ahead and do it.
Correct.
But just don't come into my scene trying to stir the pot and, you know, for, you know, toxic and all that stuff. If you don't buy in, you don't buy in, man. It's not a big deal. I'm not gonna wish your kid anything bad or whatever. Like do whatever you want to do, you know, but just understand before you get into this atmosphere and environment, this is what we do here. And if you don't believe in that or this way, then, you know, it's just not for you. And
you're
that's
right.
Okay. That's okay.
100%.
You know,
you got to be okay with that. I mean, honestly, dude, like I've been in this. When I first came in, I was probably the youngest guy doing it in a sense. And then I was 27 years old, you know. I looked at the circuit. I remember putting guys in situations, like thinking like, man, I need to put guys in situations to fail, to teach them how to come back and learn from that. Right. Well, that didn't work out too good, dude. You know, now you got parents like, hey, what the heck? You put us in a situation to lose and this and that. Which is, I get it, dude. Travel ball is a competitive environment. And
it is, but you gotta look at the big picture.
No, and that's the problem that some people don't, right? And for us, like you said, like we want to be able to put like-minded individuals together and push each other to be where they need to be. You know, obviously everybody's different. And like you said, I always tell people this too. I was like, everybody's doing good things, man. Like everybody has a different opinion. You know, my job isn't to hate on another program. My job is to make sure that you guys go and learn because there's a lot of kids. There's enough for people to go around. You know, like I just think like some parents right now, you know, they have to understand what's best for their kid. And you're right. Like you can't come somewhere and expect certain things and not get to where you want to be and now be a cancer and start doing things and now pushing everybody away because that's not the way things should be. You know, you either buy in or you're out. Like
I mean, I would just say, like you said, it's like if you're not happy, it's okay. Find somewhere else to go.
Yeah,
you know?
100%.
Just there's nothing wrong with that, right? But you know, I think, you know, we also gotta understand. Hey, we're all on the same page here.
Yeah,
you know,
dude.
Am I going to always, you know, do what's best for your kid 100% of the time? No, because I got to do what's best for this other kid too as well. And that may not be what's ideal for your son, but that doesn't mean I don't have your kid's best interests at heart. And I can't make everybody happy, you know, at the same time. Unfortunately, somebody's probably not going to be happy. Right?
100%.
And that's just the nature of it, you know, which I've definitely come to understand. And, you know, I think it just goes back to, hey, you know, at least if each program can just kind of like, be honest about what we're doing here. I think it would just
100%.
make things, a lot easier.
Yes.
And, like you said, for coaches that, it's like, listen, man, there's a lot of kids out there. There's a lot of kids, and take some accountability to, where you really shouldn't be coaching if you can't make somebody better.
Mm-hmm.
If you can't make somebody better, at least the youth level, right? Now, high school and up, it's different.
Yes.
You're just looking for the best players. You're not there to really teach them.
Yes.
But I'm just talking for the youth.
Yes.
I'm not saying you need to be a professional athlete, but if you're not putting in some type of work to learn and make these kids better, just don't coach.
No, 100%.
As long as these kids are learning and winning or losing, whatever it may be, but as long as they're learning and you have something to offer, which is great. I think it's good for the community to have tons of competitive quality travel ball teams. So it's not like I want less.
Yes.
I do want a lot, but I just want to make sure everyone is getting, I want the travel ball community to be more, yes, I want to win just as much as everybody. If we're playing each other, I want to win. Right?
Yeah, of course.
I want to win. Now there's certain ways we could probably coach that's not ideal for maybe the youth and watching purposes to try to win.
Yeah.
Which, you try not to do, as much, right? I mean, as long as we're all at least having something to offer these kids, right? Where it's like, hey, this program wins a lot. They have great players, but they're also able to teach your kids something. As long as you're able to teach them something, then that's fine. Because if I'm doing great, if you're doing great, other programs are doing great, that just makes it's competition. We preach to these kids, hey, compete.
Yes.
And it's like, I want to compete against other programs. It's like, I'm like, all right, damn, Carlos got a whole school and I gotta up my game. You know what I mean? It's like, it's good. It's good. It's like, everywhere you want to build that competition, right?
Correct.
I tell people all the time, say, hey, if people aren't hating on you, you're probably not doing something right.
100%.
You're probably not doing something right.
100%.
So
you're right about that.
that's the way I look at it. And I'm like, if people are hating, then I must be doing something, because usually the haters are the ones watching the most.
Oh yeah, dude.
But it's like, I really just want the community of travel ball just to continue to get better, continue to push out quality players, and develop good relationships. Because even though you may be competitors with another program, I don't hate you.
Yes.
Like, it's not like that. Like, we want to win, we want to beat you, but we can hang out after, talk about, hey, what are we doing with programs? Like, what direction are we going? Are we doing what we need to be doing as leaders, like you said, to continue to grow the game? Because we don't need this environment, because I feel like sometimes it goes in a negative direction. And I'm like, I wish success on all these programs, and I think if we can get to a point like that where we're still wanting to be competitive and win and beat each other, but we're also looking at the bigger picture, right? As far as, hey, we all need to be good.
No,
we're not doing these kids. We're doing them a disservice.
100%. And for me, it's like this. I tell parents all the time, like, if your coach ain't telling you the truth, he's already doing you a disservice. There's people out there that'll be like, oh, you're the best, you're the greatest. Oh my God, you're gonna play here, you're gonna play there, and he goes there and he doesn't grow. It's like, you want to be put in a situation where, a coach is telling you the truth. That's the first and foremost. I think that's important. I think secondly, you want to be put in a situation where you're learning, where you're growing, where you see yourself every practice just getting challenged. For me, I'm a dirt guy. I like to grind. I love throwing BP. I love seeing a guy progress. I love growth. I love going from point A to point Z. I love seeing that. And like you said, we have had a lot of success, and I think a lot of it is because we do focus on the process and we do get to where we need to be. And, honestly, a lot of it is just being fortunate, bro. We've been fortunate enough to be in a good area, and a lot of good talent out there in Orange County. And now we got all these guys battling each other. But, just because we win and we're successful doesn't necessarily make me like the best coach in the country. You guys are doing good. There's people that are out there doing great things. I'm not gonna bash anybody because
I mean, I get what you're saying, and I'm gonna give a quick shout out to one of our coaches, Jesse Martinez, if you're watching, right? So when I brought this guy up, this guy's been coaching longer than me.
Correct.
I may have played and gone further. So we know the game. We can, we know the little nuances. But when it comes to coaching, it's not the same.
Yes.
I'm sure when you first started
100%.
coaching, it's not the same. And I learned a lot. I learned a lot from this guy where it's like, I know that I'm good at what I do, but I'm also humble enough to know that there's other coaches that have done it longer, that know more than I do, how to manage a game, little nuances of the game. I can teach and motivate with the best of them, but there's coaching and developing are two different things, right? So, you're constantly learning.
Yes.
And I think if you're not learning, you're doing something wrong. You can always learn.
Oh, always, bro.
And there's tons of, again, right? Like when you play against a good coach, like you just know it. You're like,
yes,
this guy's a good coach. Man.
Yes.
This guy, and you're like, why didn't I think of that play? Or
this
guy's good, So I like that, and I think you probably get that more at the older levels, more, because there are some coaches that you coach against where you're just like, all right, this is, whatever. This is that type of day, right?
There you got guys throwing 110 pitches. You're like, one day, like, what are you doing here, buddy?
Yeah, I'm like, congrats on the win. But,
you just, come on.
Yeah, your kid's only going to pitch till he's 12 now.
No, honestly, bro, like you see guys, I mean, that's the hard part, dude, is seeing guys like really take advantage of some of these kids. And, I see it all the time, bro. Like, I mean, I've been fortunate to learn from good guys. That's one thing I will say. Like I'm a student of the game. I still don't think I know it all. I'm still learning, and I'm still going to keep learning, and I'm still going to try to grow because I want the best for my kids. And for me, it's honestly seeing these kids be successful, bro. If you have a kid, and I played against him, and he's successful. I remember when that kid was little, it was awesome to see his progression. Like for us, it should be about the kids and the next generation really making it, and whatever we can do to help them, let's do it. Like I tell people all the time, like we have sponsored teams, bro. I'll tell people all the time, we do, and it's awesome because I grew up with nothing. So to be able to have this and give it to kids that really have a chance and really experience stuff is cool. I think that at a young age, it should be fun, and for some people to experience this at a young age is going to be good because when you get to college, guess what? You travel. When you get, high school is not as much, but once you get to other spots, you do. And, we've been fortunate to have people that want to help these kids and want to go put them in a good situation. And there is a national level. There is a local level. Everything is different and there's steps for everybody to be at, and then not necessarily does that mean that, you have to be able to be here, be there, to be better than anybody. Everybody has their own time. Like you said, 12, 13 years old. But I think it's very important for kids to understand that there is ways to get to where you want to be, and, for us, we're working on a lot of stuff at ZT, man. We want to help kids and we want to help get sponsorships for every kid out there to help them travel and help them get to where they want to be because I think it's important for them to get these opportunities. Parents, man, it's hard for them, bro. I know. Let's be real, dude. Like, this is my business, right? And parents have to understand one thing. For us, we're putting the grind in.
Yeah, that's what we do.
It's what we do. Like I'm sorry, but we're good at what we do. Like, and that's just credit to what we've learned.
Yeah, I think to touch on that too is like other programs, like this guy who's, if you have one team or two team, it's not a program first of all, right? It's running a team, which is nothing wrong with that. But like, you have a 9 to 5, and then you do this, right? So this isn't, it's a supplement. But like what we do, this is our job. Every single day we wake up, where this is our only focus. How can we make RD2? How can we make ZT better? This is it. There's nothing else I have to do. For the last 3 years, every single weekend I'm out there. Every single weekend, whether it's a team that is necessarily my focus or not. Every single weekend I'm out there. Every week, Monday through I'm coaching every team. Like Monday through Friday.
That's hard.
And this year, I've finally given myself a day off. But like the last 2 years of growing the program, you beat yourself up just going and going and going and 100%. Going and going. But yeah, this is our profession, right? So like everything, what we try to do, we put all our time and effort into this, which is, it's just different. So just for parents to understand, hey, like you're gonna have to treat it a little bit differently. I know where you came from. This may not have been your coach's main gig, So, we have other stuff to do. The more ZT grows and the more stuff you have to deal with, your job is gonna change a little bit, right? Myself included, depending on where the program goes, like, it may change, depending on, what comes with the program and how many teams or the direction that you go, more training, less training, more playing, whatever direction we go, this is how we pay the bills. This is what we do. So we do take a lot of pride in it.
Yes.
And I tell parents too, like, hey, I'm open to criticism because I do want my business to grow and be more successful and be as accommodating as I can to parents, as much as I can. But, like, hey, this is a legitimate business. But that doesn't mean we're not trying to give you the best service that we possibly can.
Yeah, you're right.
Because I think when some people say, oh, it's just a business to you, it's like, listen, it is a business, right? We run it like a business, but we are also trying to give you the best possible, service that we possibly can. How can we make RD2 or ZT? How can we make our service to you better?
Exactly.
How can we make your kid better? Like, what can we get to make our program better to help you? Like, everything essentially is about what we can do for you.
Yes.
Which kind of touches base on, my last kind of gripe is I feel like there's a lot of maybe programs out there where it's what can the kid do for you?
Yes.
Not what can you do for the
them.
kid.
Yes.
Right.
That is true.
So it's like, okay, you're just looking for players that can make you look good. But ultimately, what are they paying for then? Like, what are you giving them? Nothing. You're just trying to see who can make you look good.
Yes.
Which is kind of like my last little gripe, where I'm like you should at least have something to offer.
Yes.
Right. Like,
yes.
have something to offer.
Correct.
It's not all about what they can do for you. It's like, what can you do for them? Where maybe your team is not the greatest in the beginning of the year, but you've put in the work to grind and help those kids progress. And now at the end of the year, you're killing it. Like, isn't that what you want? Or even if you're good in the beginning, you get even better. Like, you want to see that progress throughout the year. And then you can do that. I think you're doing your job. No matter, you play against all different types of talent level teams. Some are not that great. Some are really good, unbelievable. But as a coach, at least when I'm watching these teams, I'm like, hey, maybe you are better than us right now. Maybe at the end of the year, we're better than you. But as long as we're all on the same page about what this is about and we're growing and developing the players, that's what it should be about. So less about what the kid can do for you and more about, hey, what do you have to offer this kid? And whether he wants it or not is ultimately up to him. Obviously, hopefully you have a good team. Hey, come be a part of a great team. Yes, our team is going to be better, but I also have something to offer you as well. It goes both ways. Yeah.
No, and that's something that you're right about. You know what I mean? I see it all the time where, there's programs out there that really take advantage of just like, oh, dude, we'll give you all this and that, and honestly, dude, like, look, there's a difference between giving everybody something and really helping a kid that doesn't have the necessary money to get you to where you want. Over the years, bro, people don't realize this, and they don't realize this, and we don't talk about it
because you don't tell them.
Yeah. But we help a lot of people, dude.
Yeah.
We do, and we try to help get them to where they want.
Yeah.
I personally think that an investment is gonna make you feel better about it because you're investing your money in something that you feel your kid's gonna grow in. I think that no matter what it is, I think you have to put skin in the game. If you put skin in the game, now it hurts you not going to a practice, right? If you don't put skin in the game, bro, you think, oh, you can set it off. No. So I think that you're right about that, and we've had situations like, and it's tough because the national level is a lot different, right? And I'll give you an example because locally, you're here to grow. You're here to develop. You're here to get, for us, we do national stuff. And it's tough to get a guy from New York or Virginia, like, to train with you, right?
Yeah.
So we really do focus on when we are with them is really teaching them the mental side of stuff and really putting them in a situation to where they're growing that way. Yeah. But, there is guys that, to be honest with you, like, you're going to just create a platform for them to have a platform,
Yeah.
And that's just the realistic situation about it. And, you put them out there, you do what you have to do. I mean, nowadays you got Select Fest, USA Baseball, which honestly in the last couple of years, I mean, we've had so much success in that standpoint, where we've had I think we've had 10 USA guys in the last 2 years, I mean, it's been awesome in that sense, but I'm not gonna sit here and tell you, oh, we've had full capability of developing them all. Yeah. You know,
it's impossible.
And I'll be realistic about it because I am a realist.
Yeah.
But I will say that we've helped them get to where they want to be, and that's what we're about, making sure that kids get those opportunities. Because when I first started, bro, I didn't have all the bursts, I didn't have all this stuff. Yeah. I actually had to go with another program to learn it all. And as I went through that program and as we grew and became successful, you were able to get these opportunities. But, being able to be a good coach, a good mentor, because that's one thing that as a coach you'll always be, is a good mentor and somebody that the kids are going to grow a relationship with, and I take pride in seeing these guys be successful. But you're right. Some of these kids, they do more for a program than they kind of do for them, and we try to look at it as we want to make sure that we have a kid that, we do something for too. Because, that's why it's important to have a platform like yourself. One day you'll have that, you'll have the platform right now to grow kids and get them to where they want to be. And it's tough, dude, because I've been in the national level. National level is just winning a national. That's what they're about, the next best thing. And for me, I grew up where I've had teams that weren't that good. And I always tell you, I take pride in the best moments are when I first started, right? No. And because you didn't have anything, and you really put the work in, and you really, dude. I remember having no fields, and really going freaking from places to places. Cause I knew guys from the city, and dude, go to this field, go to that field. Dude, they won't be nobody. They won't say anything. And I was like, all right, cool, go. And they're not dragged. You're doing whatever it takes to get them better, right? And then really finding a way to win, dude. And at the time, back in the day, the top tournament was the International World Series in Florida, which USSSA ran the youth. Now Perfect Game has come in and taken over, and now USSSA is nothing. They're still doing good, but they're just not where it's not the same like how it used to be. So for how it is now, a lot of the game has changed. But back in the day, we were able to win these tough tournaments, and we were able to do stuff to progress kids. And honestly, dude, I remember getting emotional one day because when we first came, you're a pro guy. Dude, let's be honest. There's not many guys out there really giving back. They're not. They're going to college or they're doing other stuff because they don't want to deal with the issues. And to deal with the sacrifice of people actually thinking oh, this guy's a better coach than you because they're necessarily winning and stuff like that. It's just
and here's the thing. I tell people all the time, it's this guy's a great coach. I don't think he's not a great coach, right? But I'm talking more from an aspect of, when you've done it, there's just a different perspective, right? There's just things that I can teach your kid that this other coach who may be a game manager is great. He's great at what he does, right? But what I can offer you, this guy cannot offer you, which I just feel is more what the youth should be about. Now, however, on the flip side of that, there's also no problem with doing your own thing, right? We talked about it and playing for this guy. I think this guy is great. He's a great coach, and you get your own training on the side. That's fantastic, But there's value in both. There's value in both. As a parent, as a family, you're just trying to figure out what you think is best for your kid. And you go with it, right? Like I said, there's guys who have coached 20 plus years, are they going to have more knowledge than me? Of course they are. I'm not naive. Of course they are. Right. They've been doing this for a very long time. They've seen it all. Even though I've played, could I tell you all the rules as this other coach could probably tell you that's been coaching for 35 years? No, this guy probably knows every rule in the book, but it's just, again, what kind of value are you creating, for these kids? And, like you said, there's the national level, there's this and that, there's all that stuff, which I think is all necessary. Good players, they need to experience that. I mean, even when I was growing, even though I didn't play travel until I was about 13.
But I didn't even play travel.
But, that's what we did. I mean, we went to Florida. We went everywhere to play. I remember being 13, 14 years old playing against a team from Puerto Rico.
Oh, wow.
In a tournament. I think it was U-Trip back then. I don't know. But
did you guys win, dude, or what?
No, we didn't win that tournament which is crazy because our travel team was it was actually a local team.
Okay.
From Palos Verdes. I was in Little League at the time.
Okay.
And I pitched against this team in the third round or whatever, All Stars. And shut him out, twice, I think, no runs. And then they said that they talked to my dad, hey, does your son play travel? And he's like, nah. Like, would you want to play for us? I'm like, yeah, we'll come check it out. So we went to go to practice with them. And then we were just like, yeah, we'll play. I mean, we didn't even practice. Like, it was just like, and back then there was no navigation. So it was like, all right, we're playing at this BLD. All right, parents print out the map quest on a piece of paper. Like, we'd get lost, and I'd show up like 15 minutes before the game.
So funny.
I'd be late. You know, my mom's yelling at my dad. And I'm still like, hey, can I grab a churro and an icy real quick? The game's starting in like 5 minutes, you know. So I get one anyways, going to the dugout. You know, I'm drinking my churro or drinking my icy and eating my churro, put on my cleats, and you know, we just go dominate still.
Yes.
Like, we'd always laugh because the other team would be like, hey, like doing all this like robotic perfect stuff, stretching, you know, and just looks beautiful, right? And we're over there just like eating our food and looking like not even ready. And we'd go win like 15-1, you know, like, because we were just good, right?
Yes.
And I look back now because, like, I think on that team there was like 3 of us that ended up getting drafted. You know?
Oh wow!
And like a couple others.
What's the team name?
It was like the Peninsula Waves, dude. Like,
yeah.
Like, it wasn't even. Like,
I played for the Peninsula Waves too.
We played. You know, there was like a team, San Diego Stars back then, whatever. But
the Stars were really good. I remember that back in the day.
I remember they had a kid that was in the Little League World Series once, and he was playing. But like, there was no social media, there was no nothing. So
that's crazy.
You just played, you know, and you didn't know what everybody else was doing. But again, do I remember what I did that game? No. But I remember getting lost. I remember the icy before the game. I remember the churro, right? That's stuff that I remember. Mm-hmm. I don't remember what I hit when I was 10, 11, 12. Like, the memories is what I remember, mm-hmm. you know? The pool parties with that team. You know, we were in Florida for that big tournament, and, you know, you're in Florida, and, you know, the housing communities, they have like the little whatever swamps like behind whatever, and it was raining, and we just were like 14. We were like, oh, let's go swim in it. Mm-hmm. You know, like half the team got an ear infection, and you know, you're just being dumb and just enjoying the game. But that's the stuff that you remember, right?
Oh yeah, dude.
So, you know, I think it's our responsibility as coaches to, you know, like I said, make sure we're doing right by the kids.
Yes, yes,
and you know, being competitive with each other as programs, but also, you know, we want to uplift each other and make sure the community is doing what it's supposed to be doing. I'm sure we both have programs that probably don't like us, and
I'm sure there is
for whatever reason that may be.
You know, well, the thing is, dude, that problem is like, I mean, there's a lot of people that hate on us. They don't like us, but at the end of the day, you can't worry about what you can't control, right? And exactly. And the biggest thing is. Yeah. We have to be able to know that we're doing the right things and we're doing it for the right reasons. As long as you know that, what everybody else says, bro, it doesn't mean shit. So I excuse my language, but you know, I think that's the biggest thing. And for us, is just making sure that we continue doing it. I know you're doing great things, dude. I love what you're doing.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
And honestly, bro, like, you know, that's the reason why I mess with Ryan, because I love his mentality and I love what he's doing for the kids, and I wish there was more people doing what we're doing, you know, because I do feel that there's a little emptiness in the ball players giving back to these youth kids, because the impact is made, I really feel, at the younger ages, because you build that platform as they get older. You know what I mean? You build the mentality, you build the growth, and then as they get to high school, bro, you already touched them. You already touched their mentality. You're already good.
Yeah, I think a lot of it too is because, you know, we know what we deal with, right?
Yes.
And as a person that's played at that level, you're like, dude, I didn't play where I played to deal with this type of stuff.
You're right.
You know, and they just don't want to do it.
Yeah.
You know, and it's unfortunate because they have a lot to offer. And again, there's just something about a perspective of playing where other kids want to go that other people just can't do, you know? Mm-hmm. And again, I always say this all the time, just because you played at the highest level, it doesn't mean you're necessarily the greatest coach, but mentally there's you can say, hey, you have a chance to get there. Like, there's things you can tell that kid and prepare him for. That's super invaluable, especially if, you know, like if I was a basketball player and I want to go to the NBA, you know, this other guy who maybe never played in the NBA could be a fantastic coach. But, you know, Kobe Bryant tries to come and talk to me, and I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy's been there. Like, he has a different perspective. But this coach over here, he could also be Kobe Bryant's coach and teach him great things. But Kobe, he's been there. He has that perspective. And like, he's like, dude, he can tell you whatever, like where he was at your age or whatever, the nuances of the game, what to expect, So there's value in that. I wish there was, more ex-professionals, even college guys to get into the game and coach and teach. And I think part of it, unfortunately, is just, the amount of probably stress and just the other side of it that they don't want to deal with, which I understand.
Dude.
And I understand. But luckily, I think, like you said, you really have to. Those guys could want to give back, right? But they don't love it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you really have to love it.
You do.
To go through this and the process and going through great families and not so great families, but the great ones make it worth it. Even though there's maybe a couple bad ones, the great ones definitely make it worth it.
Oh, dude, I mean, that's why I give you credit a lot too, because, dude, it's easy to quit, right? It's easy to be like, oh man, I ain't dealing with this. But, you push through it because you do love the kids and you do it for the kids, and you realize that you're not going to let the parents get in the way of that, because, I've dealt with a lot of stuff through this, and because you're doing it, it's like you deal with a lot, I mean, people that believe, people that don't believe. Why is my kid playing? Why is little Johnny here? Why isn't little Johnny? Well, you know what, man? Maybe little Johnny's out there because he's just not ready yet. You know what I mean? So to be honest, that's the tough part about this business is, are you willing to take the blows and get to where you want to be? And that's what I take pride in. And dude, I'll tell you guys a crazy story. I'm okay. Like, it's kind of hard to say this, but when I first started, man, there was times where I didn't even have money to do certain things. So I would have to take my dad's credit card. Like, hey, dude, I'll pay you back. And you know what? The sacrifice of doing that, and I was always a good kid. I grew up the right way, and trust me, I always paid back because that's just the kind of person I am. But to really get to where you want and really grind and be where I'm at today, honestly, is credit to everybody around me, but also because I just felt like the kids deserved it, and there's a lot of other things that I want to do to make sure that they're in a good situation, bro, because the day we leave and the day we pass away, because we're all going to pass away, I want to get looked at as, this guy did whatever it took to help people, and that's how I always take everything. And for you, I see you as the same way, somebody that really wants to just give back. And, obviously it's a business and, it's our job, but, we do this because we care. Yeah. And I think that's something that people forget, and, at the end of the day, I know that we're doing it for the right reasons. I know you're doing it for the right reasons. And, it's exciting to see where it's going to go and to see this talent grow, because, man, I'm telling you right now, the talent coming up is good. Yeah, it's good. And luckily, they have coaches like yourself or like myself or like other guys out there that are really teaching them. Yeah. Because back in the day, man, I remember teaching infield's robotic. And then now it's like, throwing on the run. At 9, 10 years old, throwing on the run. It's like, that's what you want. You know what I mean? Like, hey, go out there, do your stuff, and don't be scared to fail. And, if you have that mentality, you're going to be good. So, yeah, definitely, man. Travel ball is definitely crazy. Yeah. It's definitely something that, for me personally, bro, like, it's good, it's bad, but I will say, man, nowadays, if you're not playing it, you're, like you said, you are falling behind. Back in the day, we're playing Little League, bro. We're playing, all this stuff, and I enjoyed playing Little League. I enjoyed being with my friends.
The good players, all of them also play Little League.
Yeah.
Right. So it was a little bit different.
No, you're right about that.
Most of the good players were still playing Little League. Where now, if you're talented, they're most likely not.
Yes.
Yeah. I know it's tough. We're the old guys now trying to get into the new ways and this and that. And play Little League. It's like, if you want to be good at this, but. Again, I do think there is still a place and a need for Little League, right? Because my biggest fear is always being the reason a kid never wants to play baseball again. I never want that, right? 100%. Which is hard, and you try to give kids opportunities and chances, and again, that's just for the love of the game. Like, I just never want to be the reason a kid just no matter how good or bad he is. Like, baseball is such a beautiful game, such a beautiful sport.
Such a beautiful game.
I want every kid, to enjoy it the best of their ability. So, But hey, man, I appreciate you stopping by.
No, I appreciate you having me, dude. It was awesome,
Absolutely.
dude. See you with this great little setup right here,
Yeah,
dude.
yeah, you know,
this guy's doing big things here, man. This guy right here.
We're trying over here.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome.
Yeah, hey, man, I appreciate it a lot, and I'm sure we'll see you out there soon.
No, most definitely, dude. Most definitely. Thank you, man.
Absolutely.